Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It's Coach Chris coming at you at around 2 p.m. on Friday, September 13th, 2024. I want to let you know that this video is for information purposes only. This is not intended to be financial advice. Trading is very risky, especially futures. You can and probably will lose money. Down in the description of the video below is the legal disclosures from the CME and other disclosures and disclaimers. So if you want to take a minute to read those, please go ahead and do so. So what you have in front of you is a 5-minute chart of the micro NASDAQ futures contract ending next week, actually. And what I've got is I've got the screen split vertically or horizontally rather. Up here, these are both 5-minute charts, and up here is the chart with the AccuTrader.net system on it. Consists of these green and red bars along the bottom, this red thermometer gauge along the right side. The market is open, so you may see this changing colors. And then the main part of the indicator is this cloud candle system, and then these green and red boxes you'll see here indicate entry points into the market. And to be quite honest, today wasn't the greatest day for the indicator, and I'll show you why in a minute. We were right on direction, I believe, on all of the trades. None of the trades, well, this one would have probably been a break-even trade, this first one. We were right on direction on all of the trades, but what happened today is we saw a lot of movement, and I'm going to comment on that in a minute. That's why I have that chart down on the bottom. We didn't get a lot of follow-through. We got a lot of jerky up and down motion, and I think it has something to do with this September futures contract expiring and rolling next week. We saw some very strange price action. So I just want to orientate you. This candle right here is this white candle right here is the 8:30 a.m. Central Time candle, which corresponds with the opening of the New York session. And then on the next candle, the 8:35 candle, we did get an entry signal. And this one, we did get a little push up. I think it was around 50 or 60 points. Let me just check. It gave our take profit at 55. It did ultimately go up quite a bit, but you can see how long it went till almost 11 o'clock in this slow grind. At 10 o'clock Eastern time, you'll see this big candle right here. And that was a news release. I think it was some kind of manufacturing. I can't honestly even remember. But the interesting thing is this news item normally has very minimal effect on the market. But today you can see that candle there from top to bottom was a 100-point candle at early this morning, 9 o'clock my time, 10 o'clock Eastern time. It was very strange. And then you can see here a little later we had some big candles as well. And that's why I think it has to do more with the future or the futures contract roll next week. But as I was saying, it's not a great day for the AccuTrader trading system. Normally what we'd like to see, this is the basis or home line. This is where prices like to retreat to, this red line in the middle of this gray cloud. And what we like to see with this system is we like to see a nice big push, which we got here, and continuation. And we like to see a lot of separation between these candles and this basis line. So what we do is we get that thrust separation, and then it will come back down with some momentum and pierce it, and then we can get a short. So in other words, we go up, come down, get a trade, up we get a trade, down again. Where today what was happening we didn't get much separation at all. And you can see these huge candles. I mean, either with big bodies and small wicks on both sides, or big wicks. I was trading all morning, and each of these candles per micro you were trading was a 20 to 40 point move. And wherever you see a wick, this is a 5-minute chart, that happens like here or here. These wicks, they happen very quickly. Like it'll push down and then it'll suck back up very quickly. So it's very stressful to scalp this. You know, a scalp is a very short trade, and most professional traders do scalp a little along the way, pick up, you know, a couple $100 a day. You know, scalping, when you see these quick moves, if you can capitalize, you know, 10 to 20 points, and do that 2 or 3 times a day, that all adds up. But when this kind of price action occurs, it makes it a little tougher. We like to see, like I said, that big momentum shifts up and down. And so we were triggered 1, 2, 3, 4 trades so far. It's now about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm done trading. It is options expiration, not a huge one, but I just don't see much happening, and and my week is in the book. So let me just measure out some of these. That was a 30-point trade. This one here was not the greatest, I don't think. Well, yeah, it ended up going 50 points, and then this one, 50 points. So as I said, but none of them really had the follow through we like to see. You got that initial push, that initial momentum, to just enough to trigger the algo, and then, you know, these 2 trades, in fact, look almost identical in terms of how they behaved. Right here, and then again this other one here that's going on right now. Oops, I don't know what I did there. Try that again. Bam. I don't know if you're ever even going to be able to see that or not, but bam. So we got the initial push on the entry candle, and then just consolidation up and down, and you can see here again those big wicks on those candles. I mean, just really, really, I don't know. I didn't care for it that much. And then the same thing here. So, but now here's the interesting point. And I want to point this out to you because, in my opinion, it's kind of cool. So if you look at this bottom chart, and I'm going to just move this up so I can give myself a little bit more room to illustrate this. This chart and this chart are the same. The only thing is I've taken all the indicators off of it. And then what I've done is, in the back, I've drawn a zigzag chart on there from the lows to the highs, okay? Low to high, high to low, okay? And up until this point, which was 1 o'clock, I believe, yeah, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, that up and down movement represented 890 points of movement. Let that sink in for a minute. So that means, and take this with a little grain of salt also, but that means if you were perfect on your entries and exits, theoretically, you could have pulled in 890 points. Okay, so if you're trading a micro, that's roughly $1,800 worth of profit you'd have made. Now, we all know there is no trader that's good enough to enter exactly at the low and sell at exactly the high. No one can do that. In fact, it's impossible. And I started to put the actual number of points per move. So this was 100, this was 90, this was 120, but I think you'll still get the point. This one, this bigger one, was 70, 80, 80, and 60 so far on that downward leg. So I hope you're following along what I'm talking about here. So we know we wouldn't get all 890, But even if you got half of that, let's say you got 400 ticks, or 400 points rather, which would be half of that, caught half of the move up, half of the move down, etc. Even on a boring day like today, just look at this, and you look at this, and this looks like utter chaos. It's insane. But my point here is, what we need to do is we need to separate somehow that chaotic activity into something that we can more steadily look at. And so what I'm trying to say here is, what you want to do whenever possible, and also look at how just by removing those candle bodies and wicks, let me put them back in there and look at how much different this looks. Just by adding, I must have missed the candles and wicks. Let me do that again here. Wicks I missed. It already starts to look even more chaotic. You know what I mean? So what you have to do is kind of peel back the onion in a sense and look at what is going on here. And that's where, if you go out to the higher time frame analysis, let's just see what this would look like on a 1 minute, just to show you the difference. I gotta shrink it down here because it's stretched out. Okay. You can start to see a little different view of it on the 1 minute, but you can still see these candles on there. See what I'm saying? So that's why what we like to do is do a little higher time frame analysis. If we just watch that 1 minute chart all day, we almost get hypnotized and mesmerized and fooled, because we don't understand. We're looking at such minutia movement, we lose sight of the greater picture of what in fact is going on. And a lot of us, I'm guilty of this too. We'll pull that chart wide open, to look at it better. And we get stuck and we get mesmerized, like I was saying, of how this market is actually moving. So if you, for instance, here, we go up, got to this point, and then we got a big, at that 9 o'clock news announcement, we go down, and then we moved right back up. And so by altering and looking at these charts from a little different viewpoint, we just look at the 15 minutes once and see what that looks like in comparison. Well, it's off the screen now. Let me move it back into. Oh, that didn't work. Let me go back to the 5 minute. Somehow I got off the page here. There we go. That's why it didn't appear on that 15 minute. But you see here, by going out to different time frames, how it's much easier now to see exactly what is going on under the surface here. And so we need to concentrate more, because, who wouldn't like to extract more points out of the market? So, for instance, how many points did you get today trading? And an easy way to do that is look at the dollar amount you got and divide it by whatever the contract size that you trade is. So, for instance, if you're trading 1 micro and you made $100, divide that by 2, and that would be 50 points. And see how many points of this from open to 1 in the afternoon were you able to extract. And what you want to do is, trading is basically, that is what it is extracting money from the markets. And it's very easy to get caught up with all of these big YouTube influencers that are throwing huge dollar amounts around that they're making. And we all want to make money, obviously, but we have to also start with our training wheels, much like learning to ride a bike, right? You just don't hop on a bike and learn to ride instantly and then get on a Harley the next day. It's years and years and years of practice, and the same is true of trading. But what you want to do is start out And your first goal is profitability, consistent profitability. And we all go through these phases. At first, you're going to struggle. You're going to be a losing trader. You're going to have some wins, but you're going to have more losses than wins. And don't start out with a lot of size. Start out with a small size, okay? And then once you are consistent at that size, then you can add additional contracts. For instance, trade 1 micro. And when you can consistently win, even if it's $20 a trade, and you can do that 5 times a day, okay, that's $100. That shouldn't be that hard to do, right? Well, then you go to 2 micros, okay, and you've doubled your salary. Then get consistent there. And then what you want to do, and this is why journaling is so important, you want to record every day the good things you did, the bad things you did, what you really wanted to achieve that you didn't, okay, what the market conditions were like, and then you can look back on it, and every day promise yourself you're going to get a little better. Hey, I was at 60% winning trades today, and I made $20 in profit. Tomorrow, I want to get 10% better. Now, a lot of people will record themselves, and there's a lot of free screen recording software out there that doesn't require a lot of memory space. And it's really important to kind of do that, especially when you're beginning, because you get so caught up in the training and you start to develop bad habits and things that you may not even realize you're doing. And there's no way to improve something if you don't realize you're doing it. And that's why journaling and recording yourself is very important. Now, I'm not talking about talking into the microphone. You don't necessarily have to do that. But it'll record your screen and exactly what you're doing. You know, what time did you enter a trade? What was the basis for entering the trade? What strategy was it? You know, was it an order block? Was it a fair value gap squeeze? You know, whatever the type of trade it is. Did you have a good entry? Did you take profits too soon, or did you let the trade play out? So those are all things you want to do. And then, like I said, continue to keep improving day after day. And pretty soon, you're going to be making the kind of money those influencer makes. Because let's say, for instance, you've been trading a year now, and you're consistently averaging $40 to $50 a trade, and you can do that 10 times a day. Well, now you're copying that over 10 performance accounts with Apex. So now you not only made 500, you made that 500 times 10. Okay, now you're making 5,000 a day. There are very, very few professions where you can do that. I don't care if you're a surgeon, a brain surgeon, any type of doctor. I mean, you're talking, huge, huge money. So that is always your goal. Learn to be efficient in your trades. Learn to take good trades. The dollar amount doesn't matter. The dollars will take care of themselves once you become consistent. You'll become consistent. You'll be averaging 10 points a trade. Soon you'll be making 11 points a trade, and you'll be able to increase your contract size. And instead of winning 60% of your trades, you'll be winning 70, 75, 80% of your trades. And all of that combined will then get you to your profitability goals that will be unmatched, for just about any profession. So I hope you guys all can comprehend. I know it was quite a bit of rambling and I was kind of all over the place, but I hope that makes sense for you. Everyone, thanks so much for everyone that's been subscribing to the channel and watching it and all the comments I've been getting. I really, really do appreciate it. Have a great weekend. Spend some time with your family, loved ones, what have you. Go outside and enjoy life. And we'll come back next week and we'll tear it up. Remember, contract rollover next week. I forget if FOMC is next week or the week after, but we're surely going to see a lot of opportunities to pull money out of the markets. And I mean, if we can pull 200, 250 to 500 points a day, I don't care what size you're making, you're going to have you're going to be very, very happy with yourself. So I will have a couple of videos coming out over the weekend. I'm not exactly sure which ones yet, but I will have some content coming out. So Coach Chris from AccuTrader.net, have a great weekend. Bye-bye.